Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel, Kono Pro. Everyone likes to explain what they're going to do in their video. And I just thought I'd do something a little different. So stay tuned in this next little clip coming up right now. Hopefully by you watching it, you'll see what we're going to be doing in this video. Alright, let's do this now in real time. Hope you like that little reverse action. So what we got here is an old TV mount on this property, and then the old tenants, when they left this property, they removed the bracket, the old TV mount bracket, and then there was a screw that was, with the head was broken off. So they just left the screw in the wall when they moved out. Okay, and we need to back it out of there. I'm going to use an old school technique here. Stick around, you'll see me do this. But instead of taking a hammer, smashing it, banging it, causing a big hole to make more work, I'm going to use this little old school technique. And this is what knowledge happens. When you know how to do little things like this, then you're going to save some money and time. So what you take is a drill drive right here, and you taper down your chuck all the way down to basically 0. And then you put it right down on there, and then you'll taper it down, and so it locks onto it, basically like it's a drill bit. Then you tighten it as hard as you can, and then you're gonna push reverse and back it out. It's as simple as that. You could do this with big lags, big bolts. I mean, whatever you're doing it with, you can do it. If your chuck is big enough to grip onto it, then you can do it. I've used that technique so many times. It's bomb. Alright, now that we got that screw out of there, we're going to take my 5-in-1 tool and basically going to scrape off any loose paint, any loose, peeling paint that's on there before we start plastering it. Alright, and this video is really cool for, if you're a tenant and you move out of your apartment and you want to get your security deposit back, boom, watch this video and you can learn how to patch holes, little plaster holes in your walls. And this is a very common fix right here that you see. So what I'm doing is a smooth set, fast set 5. Okay, that's a smooth set plaster, and it's a 5-minute plaster, meaning that it dries in 5 minutes to the touch, but it doesn't really cure in 5 minutes. It still takes a lot longer for it to cure, long enough for you to sand it. So at the end of this video, I'm going to use this to show you this technique, old school technique, where you can use rag and you can use that instead of sanding it. So stick around and you'll see how I do it. So instead of using that big 5-gallon bucket to mix the plaster in, it's just a little patch. So I just mix it in my little pan right here, my plaster pan, right? So I get my drill drive, and I have a paddle mixer right there. And it's one of the smaller paddle mixers. You can go to your paint department in your local hardware store and find one of those paddle mixers to mix actually paint, little gallon buckets of paint. I use it for little small plaster jobs, It's awesome, works great, especially for mixing in a pan. We just want to just mix up one pan real quick, don't have to dirty a bucket. So I'm taking my Smooth Set 5, I'm going to put some in there, and I'm not going to fill it up all the way, because what I like to do is just put a little bit of Smooth Set 5 in there, add some water, and then if I need a little more Smooth Set 5 in there to make sure it's at the right consistency, then I leave room to do that. So you see how it's still a little wet after I added that water? So I can add a little bit more Smooth Set, but I can't take out water. So you don't want to put too much in there. You want to leave room so you can mix it to where you get the right consistency. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more. But remember, this is Smooth Set 5. And so they don't really explain it on the directions, but if you take too long mixing it, then you'll only have a couple minutes to put it up on the wall. So you sort of need to be pretty fast working with Smooth Set 5. And that's why I like to use a paddle mixer. Instead of hand mixing it, I've seen people hand mix Smooth Set 5, and literally, as they're hand mixing it, it gets dry in their hand, and they have to throw it away. So, boom, I'm using the pan. I like to lift it up like that, so all the moisture can go down to one side. If it's dry on one side, I'll tilt it to the other side, and mix it. But watch out for little splatters. There'll be some splatters and stuff, so that's why you have to be careful, you know, cover the floor and stuff like that. Then I take your paddle mixer, my paddle mixer, and I mix it in that 5-gallon bucket of water right there. It cleans it up real good. Alright, we're all ready to go now. We got the plaster all mixed up. So you can see it's just a little bit wet, but I like with Smooth Set 5, you like to have it mixed just a tiny bit wet. That way you have a little bit more time to apply it onto the wall. If not, it'll dry on you really fast. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack the plaster into the holes first and then scrape them down really tight, so that way I know the plaster gets into the holes and fills them up really good. And then I'm going to basically just apply a square patch, alright, of plaster. And I'm just going to build the plaster up and make a big square around all my patches, and then I'm going to float off the edges. Okay, so I'm basically going to apply the plaster like that, and then you smooth down your edges. So to smooth down the edges, you just apply a little bit of pressure on the outside edge of your putty knife, around the outside, like I was just showing right there, and then you push in a little bit tighter on the inside, a little bit less pressure on the inside of your patch. Right? And that's how you taper down the edges. So you want to build up enough to where when you sand it down or wipe it down, which is a technique I'm going to do here in a little bit, then you have enough to where you can sand it down and it won't expose the patch. Alright, so I'm going to make a grid like I'm doing right there, and then I'm going to smooth it all out with my 12-inch putty knife, and then we'll be ready to go. And once that square is done, then you can wait a day and then let it cure for a day, and then come back and sand it down and then paint it, primer it and paint it. But I recommend when you sand it down, you sand down only the edges first, and then you sand down in the middle of the patch. Okay, after you knock it down with your do a dry trowel knockdown. Alright, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to take the putty knife in a minute, and we're going to scrape all the high points here in a second. And then we're going to do a rag technique, so stay tuned for that. You see how I just make it as smooth as I can? I put the plaster on, made it as smooth as I can, basically left it so it's built up like a good 1/8 layer on top of all that square, and then I go back through and make sure all my edges are nice and soft, and so there's not really that many hard lines left, and then I let it dry. And then we're ready for the next phase. Like I say, typically you'd sand it and then you'd be ready to go, but we're going to use a rag technique. Check it out. Alright, so you see how I just mentioned to sand it. Typically, if you wait a day, you come back the next day, you can sand it. Even though it says Smooth Set 5, I still always recommend that you wait a good day before you start sanding it. But this technique I'm about to do right now, we're not going to sand it. I have to get it done really quickly, and we didn't have time to wait for the next day. We need to get it primered and painted today. So what I did is you wait about 40 minutes for it to basically be dry. It's not clear. You can see how the color's still a little wet. Then you take I'm using a 5-in-1 right there, but I'm about to pull out a 12-inch putty knife. And when you use your 12-inch putty knife or a 5-in-1, what you're doing is you're scraping any high points off, right? So you want to make sure your knife's clean, and then you go up there and you just remove any high points that are left behind from when you applied the plaster. You see those little lines right there? And you don't want to push too hard on the sides, on the right or the left. You want to make sure you're pushing down evenly in the center of your knife, so you can just scrape off those high points. Once you do all that, you get the rag and you're gonna fold it into a square, like you'll see me do here pretty quickly. And then you start rubbing all of your outside lines first, basically the outside of the patch. And the reason why you do that is because you want to get that outside line first. If you start doing the center first, all of a sudden you expose your patches and your holes and you're like, oh, I took off too much plaster, then you're gonna have to put more plaster. What I always do is just get the outside edges, get rid of that hard line. You want to have basically all your edges smooth in, really smooth, and sort of blend in with the existing texture or existing wall, right? So once you do that, then you can go into the middle of the patch and wipe it down. So you see what I'm doing right there? Fold it into a square. Make sure it's pretty wet, but not soaking wet so water doesn't run down the wall. You just want to have it wet so it can activate the plaster again. Basically, that's what you're doing, is reactivating the dry plaster around the edges, and you're going to smooth it out. Okay, so you see how I'm doing that? Just go in circles, and then I go around the whole edge until the hard line is completely gone. And then I just run it through the field, you know, into the middle of the patch and get rid of any high spots after I finish off all the edge. Okay, and then once that's done, you let it dry for a day, and then make sure it's, you know, all dried, because you can tell by the color it'll look dry. And then hit it with some primer, and then hit it with, and I recommend hitting just that patch alone with one coat of primer, and then hitting that whole section of wall with another coat of primer. That'll help the textures sort of match, because the existing wall has been painted numerous times and it has a texture on it from the old Napa rollers that they've been rolling with for years. So there is a little bit of a texture on it. So to match that, you want to paint the patch a couple times, so that way both walls have been painted a bunch of times, and then it all will blend in. Once you do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, so I recommend painting just the patch alone with some primer, hitting it with the roller handle, 3/8 roller sleeve, and then you go back through and hit that whole wall right there, that one whole section from floor to ceiling with primer, then hit it with your finished paint. Okay, and if you use a 3/8 nap roller sleeve, it should all blend in fine. You won't even see the patch. Alright everybody, hope this video helps you out. Remember, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share us on your social media, and we really appreciate that. And if you want to keep these videos coming, keep those thumbs up coming. That's what's up everybody. Know-Pro out. Peace.